And please, if you have something to add to this conversation, please lift your hand and I will hand you over the microphone so that you can contribute. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I welcome all of you once more to this very important conference. My name is Ayo Babajide. I represent WTF Construction Nigeria Limited. Permit me to do a bit of advert on WTF. We are a rapid build company. Rapid build in the sense that we have means and methods of building many houses rapidly. Let's make it as simple as that. As of today, if the statistics we have is correct, Nigeria has almost about 28 million housing deficit. 28 million. So conservatively, because we don't even know how many we are. So it's just. So if we can start from there, 20 million houses that needs to be built for people to have a roof over their head. How quickly can this be built? You can just scratch your head and ask yourself, how many bricklayers do we need? How many artisans do we need? How many plots of land do we need? Where are these going to be located? Questions, 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 and questions with very minimal answers. You see, but what I say is that no matter how big a challenge is, you first must start somewhere. Just start it somewhere. The bad thing is not starting tall. That's what is bad. And the problem is that most of the time, it looks as if we are so afraid of the enormity of the problem and we just don't want to start anywhere. So where is the startup, if I may ask? We must start from the point that we believe that every Nigerian needs a roof over his or her head. It's a right. It's a human right. It's a constitutional right that every Nigerian must be sheltered. So if we start from that place, then we ask ourselves, what is the most critical need to put a roof over each and every one's? It's money. Money, 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 and money. Some people say money answered all things. In the construction industry, money answered everything. Everything. So if money is the answer to all these things, so where is the money going to come from? Nigeria operates a government-dominated system. Everything starts with the government and everything ends with the government. If the government will provide money, we will solve part of this problem. If the society we are in also understands the importance of this and will provide money, we'll solve part of this problem. But looking at it holistically, the government, the society, the funding institutions, the investors, everybody should see it as a project that must be done. Once there is money, how do we quickly solve this problem? It's simple, rapid build system. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's put our hands together for him. You see, I said whenever somebody said when you want to describe an elephant, some described it from the trunk, some described it from the leg. They say the leg is very thick. He has described the issue from one side. So please, sir, can you please describe it from your own angle also, sir?
Thank you very much. My name is Mr. Patrick Zega. I'm representing ASDPC, Edo State Development and Property Corporation. the arm of government that needs to redefine also the housing direction of Edo State. We have the responsibility to just do that for the people of Edo State in a way that housing and houses will be available to every person. Like I said, I'm Patrick Zega. I'm a quantity surveyor, and my experience spans over 30 years in the construction industry. I wouldn't say that I've seen it all, but I have seen quite a number of challenges as far as housing delivery is concerned. You know, so many factors. Probably as we go along, get to start identifying them and stating them one after the other. So many factors are responsible, spanning from cultural factors, traditional factors, financial factors, and a lot of um, spectrum of issues and problems. For me, as a quantity surveyor, I look at uh, issues and perspective of the costing, the costing. And costing comes as a result of what is designed. And so housing provision for the people of Edo State, Edo State and in Nigeria in general. But I think that even the 25 million deficit my brother here talked about is a far cry. Because if you look at Edo State alone, you provide 25 million houses, there will be people to take them. There will be people to live in them. And so if you not talk of the nation in general, that is really a far cry short of what the requirement. But we're talking of how these things are going to be made, how these housings are going to be made available for the people, even those that can not immediately afford them because they need housing. Housing is a necessity. Shelter is a necessity and is one of the necessities of life. How is it going to be made available to the people? That is the challenge. And, you know, a number of issues. In fact, one sharing news that I got here just now was the fact that Dangote has said that he's crashing cement from 5,005 per bag to 2,700 starting from October 1. Hope I just got the information just now. Starting from October 1, the price of cement is going to come to 2,700. I hope that is really made realistic because cost of materials is a problem. It's a really problem. Whether they are high end, medium end, or low end is a very serious problem. You know, you want to build whatever identity or name you want to ascribe to it, low cost. Let me just start from low cost. You want to build low cost is the same brick and mortar that is used for the luxury one that is going to start with. And then the only difference here is the spectrum of finishes. Spectrum of finishes. But at the end of the day, you now come and see that what you tout as low cost is actually not entirely being low cost because the same material that are used for luxury ones are also what is used. But one major factor that I see really mitigating against this is finance. Funding. Finance is a problem. And this is where government will come in and should come in. If government can create enabling environment, this will go a long way to making housing delivery easy because our banking system is structured such that they make it difficult for those who really have need, developers that are really agile to get into the business of providing houses, make it difficult for them to get these loans because of the demand, the high interest rates. So the government are the one that really needs to come in to benchmark all the low developers to be able to support them to have housing delivery and make it easy for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope we're learning. So let's put our hands together for him. Now, one of the things that I always like having is when I have people who have gone through the mill of our governmental systems. I like listening to them because of their wealth of experience. Former Commissioner Hildos here, please, can you please help us in this direction? Because you know the nitty-gritty and how the files move or don't move, as the case may be. And then you can tell us what are the things that you think are militating against our going forward in that direction from the government perspective.
Okay. You are welcome to this occasion. Actually, when I got the invitation to this place a few days ago, I didn't know that I would be in a position to go and be giving speech or whatever. But being it's just a practical discussion, I will just give you what I've done, the experience I have, and that I had, that I still have, so that you will know exactly what the problem is in housing. As far as Edo State is concerned, I will give you a practical example of what I did when I was commissioner concerning low-cost housing. I served under a military regime then. I was in my early 30s. So we're not rounding up. We have about 4 months to hand over to the next government. My then military administrator called me and said, I just want to leave something behind for the workers, specifically say the workers, the civil servants. Can you think of a housing program we can do within 3-4 months? I said, why not? If the political will is there and you provide the money, we will do it. We have people to do it. He said, okay, I should present it to ESCO and let them see what we can do. So when I got back, I called the architects in the ministry, the engineer, the QS, we all sat down, say, this is what we want to do. So you architect, give me design for at least a 2-bedroom bungalow. We're targeting the junior staff then in the ministries. 2-bedroom self-control will be very okay for them. So he gave us the design. We had a provision for 120 units of 2-bedroom bungalow. So after the design, we costed it. So but my boss said, because we don't have the time, we are not going to go contractual. Let's see if we can do it by direct labor, which made it actually much more cheaper to achieve as at that time. Then when we completed the design, we do the costing, we made the proposal, submitted to ESCO, and it was approved. Money was released. Then we started. This Wizzy housing estate I'm talking about. Yeah. So went there, started the job. But the one I know is that government was the sole financier, gave us the money, but my expertise then as an architect also helped, so that we were able to achieve this thing without much stress. Then by direct labor, we're able to save a lot of money, we're able to save time. And then at the end of the day, we achieve success with it. We're able to hand over to them. Then we make sure we allocated those units to the junior staff then, the drivers, messengers in the ministry. They were all on a bet. They were going to be taken from their salary every month for a period of about 5-6 years. I don't know when they finished paying, because as soon as our government handed over, I didn't know what happened again. But all I know is that as at that time, we were doing direct labor for that project. You go for the blocks, go for cement, go for whatever you were going to do. And then you just hire the bricklayers, the carpenters, and we're paying them directly once a week. We're paying them once a week. If you work from Monday to Saturday, you get your pay. So it continued until we completed the project. Well, the other thing, the advantage we had then was the manpower was there. I don't know if they still have bricklayers now. If you want to get 100 bricklayers, I don't know if you can get, because some of the sites are behind it now. You even discover that it's the old ones, the younger ones are not even learning the trade. So that one is also a problem now. So, but as at that time, when we did that project, they were available. And then we were able to remove, at least provide job for most of those artisans. The place was a beehive of activity. So it reduces all these petty armed robbery they were doing then, because they were all engaged there. Up to the laborer, they were all there. So even my own police orderly, anytime he takes me to site, he used to identify one or two bad boys there. They know those bad boys because of the project that was going on. They were all employed here. So that period, it was reported that there was all this armed robbery. Everything was just reduced there in the city. So those are the experiences. When we came to the other thing, that we really brought down the cost of the construction because of the the type of materials we used and all that, and how we procure those materials. I will give you an example. I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to say the civil service then they were trying to, you know what I mean? But because I was into construction before I got that appointment, I was in Ondo State. I was practicing in Ondo State as a young architect. And the military administrator, he was in Ondo State as the military administrator there. Then we knew each other, and I was doing a lot of things for him there. I was like a coordinating commissioner for him in Ondo State. Because I was liaising with all the ministries to get projects done for him. So luckily for me, he was transferred to Edo State. And he learned that I am from Edo State. So it's that, it's just that we should all go there together. That was how I came with him to this. So the trust was there and everything. Then when we're doing the project now, normally we use the block work, we finish the concrete work, we just the basic material. Then the cheaper roofing material then was this asbestos roofing sheet. That was what we used. It's low cost housing. But after that, the finishing now we're careful. Like when we wanted to do the painting, I remember I went to Julius Berger, this is a Berger paint in Lagos, directly to them, that I explained to them that we were doing low cost and we cannot afford this expensive paints. So when I met with them, they said there is a way they will help us. They will give us liquid content only, so that I won't pay for all these containers and all that. They will just give us, they will bring them in jars. And when we finish, they will come and return them. And it became very cheap. So that was what happened to this they call the Luva place there. I'm not sure they still use Luva. That was, so we went directly to the manufacturers. They will give us the minimum discount, then they will bring them. So with all that, we're able to cut down the cost of the projects. At the end of the day, we delivered and it was given to them. So that is, for now, I still think that if we are going to achieve much about housing, when you talk of the big men, they are not really the ones you are targeting when you are talking of these housing problems. Go to Banana Island, they go to all the big estates and get, but we are looking at the ones who can, like a civil servant. What is his salary? If you want to save, say maybe from his salary of, say even 50,000, you can't even save 50, you can't save 20,000 every month to say, okay, if I'm saving 20,000 every month, if I will start building, it's not going to be possible. Not even the, so it's still the same government that will have to involved in these things. So it depends who the governor is and what his policy is. That will determine how much of these things we can really achieve. I'll just give you my own experience, how we're able to achieve, and people took the yard, they were living there before we handed over. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's put our hands together for him. You see, when I see experience, I don't waste time in sapping out of it, because you don't need to put your hands inside of the fire to know that it burns. If he has burned somebody before, what he tells you about the experience is good enough, isn't it? Let's put our hands together for him again. Yes, I know that there are questions that we all have, and I want to give us an opportunity. I think a piece of paper is being passed around. There are no questions? No questions? It's impossible. I'll ask you my own questions. Though. Yes, somebody has a hand up there. Yes, sir. Please, can you give him the mic? If there are questions, 1 second. I think I'll get to you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And the organizers, I give you a lot of kudos making this occasion possible for each and every persons that are present here to be able to air out their views and their mind. First and foremost, my name is Engineer Dr. Isaac Usawe Osarekoe. I graduated from Aristotle University. I read civil and I specialize on highways. I've done a lot of infrastructures in Nigeria. I was in charge of Benin Warri dualization. I did all the bridges from Benin to Warri. So let's put a full stop there. And building houses, there are a lot of intricacies. There are a lot of factors that will militate against the possibility of actualizing what you want to do. Materials, fund, control prices, all these are still jarring towards the government of the day. Like the first speaker said, with money, all things are possible. Yes, money is the key factor to actualizing a building. But again, the supervision of the job play a predominant role in actualizing it. This procurement of materials without price control is another factor that will hinder the actualization of any construction work that is to be done. We just heard just now that Dangote is going to reduce price. I read it this afternoon from my handset here. One of the workers equally said it's not a dream that will come true. Reducing that price from 5,500 to 2007 would have been a very, very good thing to make it possible for the low income earners to be able to afford, even if it is 1 bedroom self-con. Because today, the cost of putting up 1 bedroom self-con is more than 5 million. Somebody in any 30,000 naira is a minimum wage. When and how can this be possible? When there is no price control, we blame government. Everything is not about government. I am selling a product. B is selling a product. Because I am buying from A, a very high cost of some, then without price control, somebody will just get up and say, this is a bag of cement that is supposed to be 5,500. In Oroposa axis, we are buying for 5,900. Nobody is going to kick against that. So we still need to unanimously assist our government, not only to put the whole blame on them, because most of the errors are coming from we, the citizens of the country. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Godfrey Morano. I'm representing and those State Ministries of Scotland. This Shelters Conference is very important, but there's an area that we are not looking into. We are just talking in affordable houses. We are talking in the affordable houses. Do we have affordable materials? Like I said, no. Why can't we go into scientific way of shelter? There are a lot of science people who can go into scientific way. All these materials can be sourced. We have all this material can be sourced instead of talking about Dangote cement. Do we come to a scientific way? Dangote cement cannot be coming up in having a affordable houses. When you check the China technologies, Chinans are now using small cement for giving affordable houses, low-cost affordable houses, 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom for the common people. When the other man talk about government and assisting in housing, we have had this mortgage bank, housing mortgage bank. It does not work. If we can get a cooperative of shelter organization that we can put more money, the artisan outside can even put 5,000, 2,000, and they are building. As you come to your turn, the more you first come, first serve, you will have that 2 bedroom. I thank the governor of this state, Obaseki, when he deal with the CDA. Formerly, the CDA was the hitch of not having affordable houses in this town. When a man got 50 by 100, he want to build, the CDA will come and destroy. Maybe the man have just 5,000 or 5 million. By the time the CDA descend of them, the man can no longer. I know many houses was abandoned for DPC. Those are the areas. I thank the government that he fought that thing. Now, many people are having affordable houses because the CDAs have shipped out of it. If we can go on, especially the technological aspect of it, we will have an affordable house. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, panel of discussants. My name is Estes Savia Valua Rojas Siohere, the Vice Chairman, Nigeria Institution of Estates Savias and Valuas, Edo State Branch. I'm here representing my chairman who unfortunately traveled to Abuja this morning. We thank you for bringing this program to Benin. We'll be having a lot of them in Abuja. And we want to commend you, or commend the organizers. But without wasting your time, I think problem of housing starts from acquisition of land, as the last speaker just said. We are experts on land matters. The way you acquire land goes a lot to determine the houses you produce. So when we talk about that, I think the governor has tried his best. But these people, they are back. Let us not deceive ourselves. The same CDA people, they are back in another name. I'm an indigenous of this place and I know what I'm talking about. But by the time you acquire a land and you cannot build because some people are terrorizing you up and down, you find out that the housing stock is being affected. Then when you want to talk again, let's go back. Some of us are experienced here. We've discovered when there was a mortgage policy. For a very long time, I wrote something on conversion of properties from commercial to residential not long ago when I was going for my fellowship. I must thank this government for a very long time. There has been no direct effort at making land available, but we still need to do more. What am I talking about? The new town project. I'm not a government worker, but the new town project. For a very long time, you go to Port Harcourt, you see GRO here, GRO here, GRO there. But in Benin, it's just one old GRA and they're just moving ahead, calling themselves GRA Ugbo, GRA Amagba. That is not the issue. When you go back again, let me tell you something. EDPA, BDPA, now they now call it corporation, this and that. They used to build houses for people, not even estate. So it's like when we went to university, those who ate chicken are the ones making students today not to be able to even pay school fees. That is the same thing that is happening. Those who built their houses through mortgages My Oga had the house through mortgage. I won't mention his name. Then no civil servant, don't tell me that civil servant is receiving 3,000. That's why he can't be able to pay for a house. Put a good mortgage program on ground. Because these people we are talking about, some of them, their fathers enjoyed that policy. The mortgage system today is so bad. It's so bad. Civil servants then were able to acquire houses through mortgages. Look at today. The bank will tell you there is mortgage facility, but you cannot access it, even in agriculture. So what are we talking about? The policies must come from a different positive perspective. That is, government must be straightforward, ready to work on housing. Housing deficit, as he said, is more than that. If you go to Abuja, there are a lot of abandoned houses. But we don't want to go there. We want to talk about where do we start from? Where do we start? First of all, acquisition of land. The land policy must be looked into. The Nigeria land law has not been able to effectively check that. So thank God we are just starting and we still have a long way to go in this conference. We'll be coming here because it's becoming very interesting. Thank you very much.
Put our hands together for him. Let's put our hands together for him. Yes, I'm enjoying this. So we need to, it's good that we're having these conversations. Yeah, there's a program, there's a question here by Dr. Mrs. Neso Onere. No, sir? Okay. Yes, your question.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Nusa Obe, WTF Construction. We are developers and we are working in West Africa. Nigeria is supposed to be the biggest African country, but we're doing things from the back. So I'm going to be talking about our experience outside of Nigeria, where we have worked and where we're still working for housing, both affordable and non-affordable. We take Cote d'Ivoire, it's a French-speaking country, for example. The then government of Ofenboy raised a lot of money for civil servants, and it was put in a housing bank, and the funds are down for their workers. What are they doing with that fund, and how is it being administered so that it can get everybody, starting from land? The indigenes that have land must work with government. You map it out, you take it to the housing ministry. They chart it into the general government plan, i.e. your infrastructure must key with the government infrastructure, road, water, and whatever. So government takes care of that. It's not the owner of the house that takes care of infrastructure. It is government. They take care of it. The minute you move into an area, government will go in there to do their bit. And they will give you a layout that keys into government layout. The owners of the land work with government. There is a price already fixed. And you get your certificate of occupancy from government because government has settled the owner of the house. The developers work with the owner of the land. You just give them a token of 10%. They allow you to build. The banks warehouse the off-takers, which means whichever bank is collecting your salary is the bank that is responsible to give you a house, because they are taking a percentage from your salary every month towards owning a house. We have such facilities in Nigeria, the Federal Mortgage Bank. What have they done with the money they've collected from Nigerians? I paid money into Federal Mortgage Bank. I worked for at least 30 years in different organizations, private. My salary was deducted 7.5%, and my employer is supposed to contribute 7.5%. I don't have a house from Federal Mortgage Bank contribution. So where is the money? What they are doing in Côte d'Ivoire is that the banks are the ones who get the money from the bank, the federal government bank, their federal government bank, to bring houses because your money is being deducted. The price of the houses are fixed. They have 6 or 7 range of houses. So, and whatever is your salary, that is the type of house that the bank will allow you to subscribe for. And you cannot, as a developer, sell that house for higher than what the government is talking about, especially for the affordable houses. You can't. That is 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, whatever. It's fixed. At the luxury end, that is your business. And as long as you are working, if you're working for any organization, if you've been there for 2 years, that organization is bound to sign your mortgage. It's part of the law. So if you can own a house in Europe, you can own a house in Côte d'Ivoire. That's the law. And with that, people can actually have houses. So the housing fund is not missing. It is here in the country. Let them apply it properly. Civil servants, artisans, everybody will get a house. In terms of training, if you go to school as a carpenter, as you are leaving school, you are kitted for your work. The government will give you your kit and give you your tools. It's part of what they give to you as graduating. Same with the electricians, whichever trade. So when you finish your secondary school, if you don't want to go to a university to go and do history, geography, whatever, you want to go into technology, there are universities that are technology. Our technological universities in Nigeria, are they teaching trades? They are not. They are not. The people who are doing your POP, they are French people. They learned it in the school. That is why they are so accurate. The carpenters that are very good, that are doing very good roofing work, listen to them, they speak French. They learned it in the school. They can read drawings. Nigerian carpenters cannot read drawings. I worked with Kappa and Abato for 20 years. So I can tell you categorically, Nigerian carpenters cannot read drawings. Nigerian masons cannot read drawings, except for the engineers. We need to step it down. We need to step it down. If we don't have the trained manpower, then you can't save materials. You can't save materials because if a carpenter is going to use a plank to get out maybe 3 or 4 pieces of runners, if he knows what to do, he will know how to measure it accurately. But if you leave it to the man who doesn't know what to do, he cuts it anyhow, and there's a lot of waste. And then the building becomes very expensive. We do affordable housing. We have technology, and we do it manually, what the Nigerian people understand. But there must be training, and there must be government interventions by way of rules, policies to control what we're talking about. Government can fix prices of houses and ensure that Federal Mortgage Bank and all the mortgage institutions give loan to anybody who has worked for 2 years. If my son graduates and he has worked for 2 years, he still has 30 years or 40 years ahead of him to work. He should be able to own a home because his mortgage will continue. Except, of course, the government is not sincere to keep that workforce. So when it is a case of hire and fire, you can't own a house. So these are not rocket science. These are things that are already happening in African countries, and we're supposed to be bigger than them. It's happening in Côte d'Ivoire. It's happening in Syria alone. It's a very poor country. It's happening in Ghana. It's an English-speaking country. And there are housing funds that are coming in from outside, from Europe, into African countries to help the poor people. Where is the money? We are happy. I'm happy to be here. Thank God some of these people who are coming to talk to us are going to be here. Let them give us answers to some of these questions, because we have the experience, so we can ask the proper questions. Thank you.
Let's put our hands together for her. I'll just take this one before I step in with my own experiences.
Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody seated here and the organizers of this program. I want to start first of all to ask, where is this program taking us to after discussing it? Or will it lie low as others? Or how are we going to benefit from what we have discussed here? That's one thing. My name is Obidoze Ndidi, representing Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute from Abuja. Very soon, my director, CEO, will come to give a presentation here. But I want to drop a little thing, like we are talking about people or civil servants having 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. Are they forbidding of 3 bedroom? Let's see what is happening in our societies. Civil servants always are the ones that bears the shock. Get to army, get to office uniform people, and see how they deal with their junior ones. Everything goes negatively to civil servants. And we are the workers, we are the people that make the money. To start with now, for instance, in my office, we sweat from head to toe to get a portion of land for every member. But today, who has developed it? How can they develop it? Apart from that, if you make a savings for yourself to get this land, and this land engulfs all you have, how do you build? It will become an abandoned property. The land will be there, and you'll be dying of it, looking at your land, but you cannot build. How do we do all this to come to fusion that people's struggle and savings will not go down the drain where they are looking for land? Let this land be given to them in a subsidized way, so that what they have at hand will enable them to do the construction. If we continue to look at this, our government, rain will kill us because they are not helpful to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, madam. Let's put our hands together for her. But I just have 1 or 2 questions. Everybody has been talking about government and are these people from Mars? No. They are your brother, my sister, my brother, and your brother. So, which means our problem is us. Yes or not? Is anybody with me? No. So, no, you didn't answer my question. The people that we are talking about, are they from Mars? They're not from Mars. I'll give you an example. Once upon a time, I used to work in a telecommunication company. And sometimes that time we're just rolling out, base stations and friendship centers and all that. And we're always busy. Saturday nights, Saturday mornings, we go to work. So one day, my driver said he's not going to be able to come, that he won't be available this Saturday. I said, Debo, what's going on? Why? He said this pastor wants to see him. I didn't understand. I said, what's wrong? I hope no problem. And that there's this 6-bedroom face my face he wants to dedicate. And this was me. I was living in a rented apartment. He was my driver. That night, I didn't sleep. Why I'm saying this is, I want to break it down to practicality. That night, I said, no, Chima, you are wasting your time in Lagos. This is very, very serious because I know his income. I dash him money, but he had worked with me for 4 years. The place was far after Yanokwaja, but it was his own. He was a landlord. I was a tenant. I had to accept it. That was the truth. But one of the things about me also is that I learned from everybody. I learned from my bricklayers. I learned from everybody. So I asked him, please, Debo, please just help me. How did you do this on this your little salary? He said, Oga, he needed a house. And he looked for those that there's no controversy about the land. That the thing is foul, but Oga, it's my own. I said, I hear you. He went to that place. 4 o'clock, he will leave his house at Abulegba to come to meet me in Lekki to take me to work. Was it easy? No. Whether I like it or not, Debo had a house I didn't have. Are you with me? I didn't have a house. I was a tenant. So the day my landlord gets angry and he kicks me on the road, Debo could house me actually. That was my realization. Where I'm going somewhere with this conversation. We all have a way of pointing fingers. I'm not saying they are not legitimate. Debo told me something, said whenever he gets his money, he divides it into how many blocks he can buy. Nothing else mattered because that was his target. So for 4 years, he was buying block. He was not doing any other thing. It sounded torturous. I looked to myself, Coke with food, Mr. Biggs, every lunch. It's foolish. I could pack my lunch from home. And that 4,000 naira a day will be out of it. Listen, it's simple discipline. And as a people, generally, we do not have it. Hello? We don't have it. We need to call ourselves to order. The nations you are talking about now, at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in French country, they shut down, yes or not? They shut down to rest. No shop. Discipline. We need to get a place where we begin to, put these things back into our system. When I was growing up, siesta is compulsory. If my mother catches you with your head up over the bed because we're on the floor, she said, you will knock your head. See, they knock discipline into us. Now, everybody simply does what they have, like. And that's why we're having these conversations. Discipline from up to down. It's very simple. So I started what he said. The first upfront money we got, I didn't tell my wife anything. I took the money towards Lekki and I took him to the bank and I deposited in his house. They showed me the place. We started molding block. I did 3,000 blocks first, right? Immediately, I started processing the C of O because I didn't want any story with it. One of the things we have as a problem is information. Most things are on the internet now, but they want somebody to help them to do it. You don't need anybody to help you. The world we live in today, everything you want is on the internet. You can always find out. And that was how I began to, in 6 months, my C of O came out. My property was my own. And I didn't pay at once. I told the lawyer, I don't have money to pay you everything. So when the salary comes, I put a standing order. So there's no way of touching it. So every month, they send 20,000 to my lawyer for the period. And that one ended. So I had government approved land in my hand. In fact, when people knew I had a C of O, people who wanted to buy it showed up. Are you with me? So we need to, I'm not saying all what we're saying is not, but I always like to see from, I don't stay in the box, right? I don't think outside the box. I get out of the box. What did I do? Money came again. I bought 1 trailer of granite and I dropped it there and I turned around. Everybody thought I was stupid. But when I started building, I didn't stop because all my materials were there. I'm just telling you, I'm not a developed end up quote, but I'm saying what the individual, one person, can do to get out of the ground. If you have a foundation that is stepping out and a developer comes, what he needs to pay is going to be less. But you can't just sit down and say, even land, I don't know how to get it. These are excuses. Whatever you want to do, right? You will do it if you decide to do it. Are you with me? We need to move with this mindset. If you enter the bus today, everybody on the bus has an opinion about what's wrong in Nigeria. Yes or not? Everybody. And I'm saying we can't, that's why we're having these conversations. We can't continue pointing these fingers. We need to do something. We need to do something. And that's why the organizers have put this in place. And we're having people that can answer some of these your questions. We're inviting them to come. The things we're seeing as systemic, they've happened for 50 years. It's not going to change like that. So we must be patient, but we must be positive in our patience. We must be looking forward into how can I help? What can I, as an individual, put? I've told you my experience. If you go home now, do you need any manual to implement what I just said? You don't. But if you didn't come here today, you think until you have 1 billion naira. That was my fear, that I didn't have a house. I was renting. But today, I'm not living there now. The house is in Lagos, but somebody is paying me something, which if I had not done at that time, I would have spent that money. I won't forget, it was 500,000 naira upfront payment in school, in the office. Some people bought stereo with that same money. Some people bought decoration in their house with that same money. Discipline. And we're hailing them. So we need to begin to look at how all these questions, like I said, are very valid, but how do we surmount this? That is what we want to answer by this program that we have come to. Those people that are running these things, they are not spirits, they are human beings. Emails, letters, petitions. This is how an organized society grows, right? So if we're expecting somebody to jump down from heaven to solve our problems, sincerely, it will not happen. And I'm glad we're having experts from today on, they start arriving from this evening, I believe. And some of these questions, I don't have the capacity to answer it. You know, I'm just the general houseboy for now. When the organs that have the answers come, you can ask them those questions. But we'll put those questions, luckily, this is being recorded. And as such, we can play it back to them to answer those questions. And if you're here with them long enough, you can actually ask those questions during their presentations. Thank you. Let's put our hands together for me now. I've taught you something for free. No consultation, nothing. You can now start building your own house. Eh? Thank you very much. Yes, so sir, I wanted to ask, in terms of, we're talking about materials. And you said something then that I just picked up that I want to talk about. You see, when we talk about materials, the quality of the materials are very, very important. Our materials, our price, we are talking about price control. Every time we talk about price, I'm an architect. When you say price, price is relative. If you have a tile that does not line up, it's still tiles. But there are tiles that you put together, we still have that conversation some time ago, that if these tiles don't match up, it depends on what you're looking for. You don't have to use tiles, and that's where the knowledge comes in. I did my kitchen where I used to live, rented place in Palladiana. Yeah, you don't need tiles. So these are the techniques that we can use. We are all being very standard about it. The man who is a vulcanizer doesn't need tiles in his house. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have it. He can't afford it now. So he does his 1 bedroom, does Palladiana, 1 toilet, 1 bath before he begins to work. He sleeps there, it is comfortable. When he's ready for the mansion, he can go and build the mansion. I did something very interesting in an organization where I used to work, one of those telecoms. Why must everybody get CFO for 1 plot? And I said, no, I'll design 4 terrace houses on a plot 18 by 36. That's the plot size we have in Lagos. We worked on this thing in my office, the design section, for 6 months. 3 bedrooms, 2 upstairs, 1 downstairs. And we did it on a 50 square meter footing. I had 2 toilets, or 2 rooms, all en suite upstairs. Downstairs, 1 bedroom en suite with a guest toilet under the staircase and the kitchen. I had 4 of them on a plot of land with all the setbacks. It's design. That's where ingenuity has to come in. Many people have it now in Lagos. They have them in row houses. That's what they just, but the essence of that design was to make sure that 4 of us don't go to look for CFO each. We don't need it. Those are the kind of innovative things that this conference is supposed to be bringing about. So that 4 people that work in an organization just buy 1 piece of land. They don't need, in fact, those that have built mansions, I mean, they know now they don't need it because the boys they're planning to inherit it are not around. They're not planning and they're waiting for you. Once you drop, they'll fling it. Sell is a very nice word, right? They fling it. So we over, our needs, we need to begin to look at what are really our needs for housing. Those days when we were in school, they would bring us, guest bedroom, living room upstairs, living room downstairs. Who stays there now? Nobody. I went to a general, I did a house for in Lekki. He's about 81 now. He was in his guest bedroom with his wheelchair. There was marble and granite in the penthouse. There was cobwebs all the way because the children were not there anymore. This room is for Bola. This room is for Nosa. It's a lie. After age 10, they enter secondary school. You're on your own. You may not accept it. You may be sentimental, but that is the truth. That has been my experience. And that was why my model of house made so much sense. When everybody left, it was 2 rooms, myself and my wife, and it was easy to manage. In 25 minutes, 30 minutes, we clean the house. So these are the things that we need to be, what do we really need as housing? Because when we say housing, it's very, very broad. Do you need marble tiles on your house? You can't afford marble tiles now. I know your status is very big, but right now, Palladiana is what you qualify for. So just do the Palladiana and move on. Like you said, the carcass is the least expensive of the building. It's the finishes. What kind of taps are you going to use? What kind of flooring are you going to use? Those are the things that really cost money. Because by the time my carcass came out, I said, is that all? This house they're talking about, is that what all it is? And immediately I said to them, you people are waiting for it to finish. Me, I'm moving into this guest bedroom now, not tomorrow. And I moved in. In the morning, I come to the office with my tie. Do you know where we woke up from? No. Until we kept on plastering it and it finished. So these are the innovative ways. Nobody finishes a house, even the homes that you've built. If you have a house, you understand. There's always something, one command to put, one. So the important thing is for you to put your head in a place and rest. When it is time to build the status one and there's excess money, fine. But for now, we're talking about shelter, not mansion. We need to put these distinctions in place. And I pray that as more and more people come that have more experience than myself, I'm just giving you my own little experience, which I have replicated in many places. And I think organizations can buy from. So that this thing can, at least if the middle level manpower can afford something, that is something taken off the market. Then we're talking about the low cost, the so-called the vulcanizers and co, which don't even want too much. We're the ones that think they want it in a particular way. Have we asked them what they really want for housing? In Kainji Dam, before they relocated the people there, they asked the consultant to do a survey. They wanted to relocate the people around that, the river base. And they built 3-bedroom apartments. 3-bedroom floor with toilets, everything inside. The indigenous came there and said, toilet inside house, what? How about? Nobody lived there. Sorry. They were there for years. I also went to do research in, when I was doing my thesis at Jakarta. Same thing. They relocated people, built houses. They didn't stay there. It's not their kind of house. They don't understand how you go to toilet inside of a house. Toilet was an outhouse to them. So these are the things we are peculiar people. We can't just import things. I'm entering an area that I don't like entering very quickly. The area of our own identity and ownership. We're here now, we're sweating in a place where breeze blows anyhow. Why? We have imported what we think house should be. Somebody builds a box in glass. Then he's hot. He now buys diesel to cool the glass. And he's educated. So these are things we need to begin to work at as a people. The energy cost alone of many of the buildings we have, we build another house. And all you needed to do was open long windows and let the draft suck it in. Smaller windows on this side from where it's coming, bigger windows from where it's going to come out. So there's a draft. They taught us this in architecture school, didn't they? But no, we throw it away and we're busy building boxes and buying generators. Why won't it be expensive? So these are some of the things I think we can, as a people, begin to indigenize things that concern us. Indigenize it. That big, lofty plan you have, calm down. What do you really need? You don't need a 6-bedroom, sir. You don't. You can have it if you can afford it. It's fine. But you don't need it. So let's do what it is that in the places that I have seen these things work, they are because we have put in enough, they have put in enough things in their system to ensure that these tastes are curbed. If you don't curb these tastes, somebody who is used to spending 1 million naira a day, and all of a sudden the money is not coming, he's going to steal. So we have these incidences that are going on around us because we have created a fake environment. And that fake environment needs to be dealt with. We need to come back to reality. There is no money to do all those things that we are wanting to do. So let us cut our coat according to our clothes, not your size. You may be very big. You do short knicker. You buy shorts. It's fine. It's fashionable too. So please, as the like I said, as the facilitators come, you will have opportunity. That's why we kicked it off like this, and I'm happy how it's going because the relevant questions are being asked by the relevant people. So those that are going to be able to answer them, I believe also will be here to answer it. Yes. One more, any more question? Okay, great.
Thank you so much, sir. I wrote my question down so that I won't forget it. I thank the organizers of this program. This question is a question I've asked several times without an answer. Maybe I have asked the wrong person, but I think I'm in the right place now. I thank God it's being recorded so that when the right persons come, maybe they will give me the answer to the question. My salary is being deducted. Some amount is being deducted from my salary by the Federal Mortgage Bank for National Housing Fund. My question is this. Since I am not a federal staff, I work with the state government. On retirement, who do I look up to give me my house or to give me the money that have been deducted? Who do I look up to? Because this is Federal Mortgage Bank for National Housing Fund, and I'm a civil servant in the state. That's my question.
Thank you very much. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not in a position to answer that. But like you said, we are recording it. And when the relevant people show up, they will have the answer to your question, or they'll be able to direct you to the place. I also made that contribution, right? So it's a question that is relevant to all of us. But one of the things I have learned with time is that he who wears the shoe knows where it's pinching. Good. So when I looked at it, the contributions, I couldn't do anything about it, but I needed an alternative plan. So what is my plan B? And that is how I ended up with the story of my driver. Okay? Because when I'm very sensitive. Some people, when they get their pay slips, they just take the money and begin to spend. No, sorry, I wasn't trained like that. When I shop in a supermarket, when I get that slip, I will wait, tick, 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 and be sure what you machined. Right? So I'm very careful with my money as an individual. So when this pay slip comes and I see those deductions, I go to ask the same question and they'll tell me one story or the other, but I can't fight. So I said, okay, I have to take the bull by the horn and I'll make this extra sacrifice. Okay? So I don't have the answer to the question, but I can have an advice for you. Whatever you can do, start doing. Get, like my brother said here, land is what buildings stand upon. Without land, there is no building. So I advise people, if you can, once you get a little bit of money, buy a piece of land. It will never depreciate. It will always appreciate. So even if you're not going to build on it, you can sell it later. But the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. Let's not put the cart before the horse. You will always need to live somewhere. People will always need it to live, even if it's not you. Somebody can live there and pay you rent. So it's a very good property. It's a very good investment that everybody should endeavor to make. And I also have that question for those that are in authority. I don't know why land cannot be made free because we have plenty of it. I have that same, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not in that. That's not my area. I'm not in government, and I don't know what the intricacies are, right? But it's something that I believe we have plenty of, which is also why I advocate that we shouldn't be going up. I don't see any reason for any skyscraper. There's no reason. We have plenty land. The person who is doing skyscrapers in his place, the reason is because the whole of his country is not more than Edo State. I won't call the name of the country, right? So they don't have no other place to go. The Shanghais are not there. Everywhere is water. So they must go up. But we are blessed with it. Somebody says you're going to conserve it. It's a bungalow when it's bad. If you are tired of it, you can demolish it. Abi? Yes, you can. So I think, I'm not an expert, like I said, but in terms of economics, it is cheaper to build a bungalow than to go 3 floors into the ground, bury iron because you want to go up when there's plenty of space around you. When the future generations come and the place is congested, they can demolish what we have built, but who would have lived a good life and left? That's my postulation. I may be wrong, but this is how I see it. You can't be saving for those who are not even interested in what is going on around here. When you die, they will sort themselves out. So let us, before we go, let's live a good life here first. All right, and that's my own economics, because on the long term, on the long run, it's actually how much quality of life you spend here that matters, not how many things that you leave for them, many that don't care, right? So I think at this point, do we take a break? Yes, I think we just take a quick break, 30 minutes or thereabouts. Or 15 minutes, and then we'll reconvene again and then take the next item on the list. Okay. Sorry, we have had to juggle our list a little bit because there are flight cancellations, there were delays. Some people are coming in this evening instead of in the morning. So that's another thing I'm talking about in our country, where not everything is cast in stone. Anything can happen at any time. I wish it were different, but that is the reality that we have as a nation and we need to deal with. All right? We can deal with it, but we have not actually started confronting those things. Right? If you go to the banks today, they tell you system is down and we take it. Right? Don't we? We have accepted it. The same systems that they use in the abroad that work. Why don't they work here? Why? Because we don't see anything. My banks know that I will ask, who is in charge? Why is this not happening? If 500 people are asking that same question, there'll be a movement. But we have given up. But we mustn't give up. And because you are here, I know you're not giving up. Thank you very much. So next 15 minutes, we'll be back. Thank you.
An initial deposit of 3 million naira, you too can secure a slice of Benin City and begin your journey to becoming an owner of a 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, a 3-bedroom detached bungalow, or a 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow at Emota Garden City Phase 2, equipped with functional amenities such as central water supply, perimeter fencing, good paved roads, and constant power supply. Powered by Edo State Government and the Edo State Development and Property Corporation, ESDPC. With an initial deposit of 3 million naira, you too can secure a slice of Benin City and begin your journey to becoming an owner of a 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, a 3-bedroom detached bungalow, or a 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow at Emota Garden City Phase 2, equipped with functional amenities such as central water supply, perimeter fencing, good paved roads, and constant power supply. Powered by Edo State Government and the Edo State Development and Property Corporation, ESDPC. With an initial deposit of 3 million naira, you too can secure a slice of Benin City and begin your journey to becoming an owner of a 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, a 3-bedroom detached bungalow, or a 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow at Emota Garden City Phase 2, equipped with functional amenities such as central water supply, perimeter fencing, good paved roads, and constant power supply. Powered by Edo State Government and the Edo State Development and Property Corporation, ESDPC. With an initial deposit of 3 million naira, you too can secure a slice of Benin City and begin your journey to becoming an owner of a 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, a 3-bedroom detached bungalow, or a 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow at Emota Garden City Phase 2, equipped with functional amenities such as central water supply, perimeter fencing, good paved roads, and constant power supply. Powered by Edo State Government and the Edo State Development and Property Corporation, ESDPC. With an initial deposit of 3 million naira, you too can secure a slice of Benin City and begin your journey to becoming an owner of a 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, a 3-bedroom detached bungalow, or a 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow at Emota Garden City Phase 2, equipped with functional amenities such as central water supply, perimeter fencing, good paved roads, and constant power supply. Powered by Edo State Government and the Edo State Development and Property Corporation, ESDPC. With an initial deposit of 3 million naira, you too can secure a slice of Benin City and begin your journey to becoming an owner of a 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, a 3-bedroom detached bungalow, or a 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow at Emota Garden City Phase 2, equipped with functional amenities such as central water supply, perimeter fencing, good paved roads, and constant power supply. Powered by Edo State Government and the Edo State Development and Property Corporation, ESDPC. With an initial deposit of 3 million naira, you too can secure a slice of Benin City and begin your journey to becoming an owner of a 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, a 3-bedroom detached bungalow, or a 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow at Emota Garden City Phase 2, equipped with functional amenities such as central water supply, perimeter fencing, good paved roads, and constant power supply. Powered by Edo State Government and the Edo State Development and Property Corporation, ESDPC. With an initial deposit of 3 million naira, you too can secure a slice of Benin City and begin your journey to becoming an owner of a 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow, a 3-bedroom detached bungalow, or a 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow at Emota Garden City Phase 2, equipped with functional amenities such as central water supply, perimeter fencing, good paved roads, and constant power supply. Powered by Edo State Government and the Edo State Development and Property Corporation, ESDPC. With an initial deposit of 3 million naira, you too can secure a slice of Benin City and begin your journey to becoming an owner.
To register for our project practitioner masterclass. And on completion of that course, he was so everything. So arguing. He said, why did you not introduce me to this course early enough in my and was nice there. Just telling me this and just so because the knowledge of it would have translated and transformed his life and his work. Every time I had to teach people project management, give you that project management, we all come out this stuff. Every time we use them, so just second today that this conference has brought to you this good day, good training, good course in balance the farm. I've had to be in affordable and costly because my president is the key facilitator of this event. So, my is one of the top on-demand skills now from the job everywhere there is a fast travel conversation. You know, see, you have project management experience and you go for many sort applications. There are just that selecting that are good at your the CV. They have few out and know the job business can because project management is key. Now, you want to follow success because imagine it's okay. Employ project management in the way you deliver their judgments, their activities, their business models. So it's not useful for projects, but it's actually used to organizations. The governments, the overflows, they are deploying project management. It has been often as a dictated way to get results delivered. So, in the built environment, I think this conference we can't afford to be at a state. We innovate from now and being driven by importance of project management. What is so very it's a lot of soft skills that are in demand. Skill, three skills. So these skills are not just enough to be used for projects, but even this that project management in terms of their productivity in their workplace. In the 2027, we will be looking for 10 million people worldwide to fit into the project management industry. So it's a particularly this and what is a passion for me to reach out to you today. See that most organizations are now considering with governments and not only organizations also talking with governments now deploying management to deliver the policy government. So it's not just a construction team anymore. You're looking at it in you're looking at it in health and security. Now, security for process of project management. Telling important that this class then was up to be able to do the next for this which you are doing. Not if you look ahead, because if you study, if you go to the interest to the management job UK and you will see about two job vacancies. The challenge is that people just want to go because employment to the top practice part. Not for you because there are many good economic out there. But I've been in facilitation long enough to know it's a very great presentation is not easy because obviously they say there they say accountability, but they can't do it. So that those times is important to be trained by someone who experience in their practice and that is one of the things I'm bringing here today. You project management, risk scarce. In those days, you are dependent support country, supporting individuals, supporting organization, supporting community. Now, you change it. It's everything you have to do there. You have really to it's what makes you relevant. You can read the still see on the change and say, you should using that, you talk about the world. So, employing now, if that makes one through who can use your physical and you can also use or animal to be there. You can particular for anymore. The ability to naturally continue is not something to the man. Not is the way to second to the Christian is second from that. So from things are very still the income. Why don't you? So you need to ignore something and what project management can do for you. It's think I know that I think you want to do well in Nigeria. Think of structure. That in the built business where they talk in the best possible way. Certain people in this type of world can see they instead of our mission, not develop themselves, the organization will come with innovation. Try to create your business. So you can say, if you need to relate your business, say, oh, many organizations will already provide services, but not organizations that will combine the tools that combine the government. So, in order to listen to the market in construction, the school, we were taught we bring salaries, not innovative markets, not the concept of change. So we're not really the concepts see. So if you not think through is project management. So the kind is still not show me skill leaders. The challenge is not companies fixing what the second concept. See, the collapse. Many times it was some options skill leader. So the skill of
That guy was still at the gate. I finished my work, saw the minister, came out, and he was still shouting there. Listen, project management teaches you not to take people for granted. The person that can make or mar you getting a job somewhere might be a driver, may just be the attendant. But if you look at them and say they don't matter, these days, if I'm doing anything, I consider everybody around my sponsor, whoever I'm doing that job for, carry them along because they can either make it. But if you want to begin to say, no, I'm a professional, you can't tell me what to do, you can continue speaking big English and you will wait and that money will fizzle out. You see, everything rises and falls on association and relationship. Project management will teach you how to manage conflicting stakeholders with different needs and different complexities. When you learn through project management, it shows you how to identify stakeholders, how to map them, assess their impact, and know how to mitigate them so that instead of them working against you, they will work for you. I'll give you this instance. I'm trying to be very practical in this teaching so I don't just give you plenty stories. I'm trying to make them hands-on. I had a project I was asked to do in Port Harcourt, and because I've done project management, I asked them, I know that you know what they call matching ground. Those of us who do construction in Nigeria should know that when you bring in a truck or whatever, the community will ask you, give us something. So what did I do? I knew that I will have several trucks coming in. And if I'm going to survive that project, I have to ensure that I manage that aspect. I knew I was going to spend 5 or 6 million just to settle community from the trucks that will be coming into that project. So what did I do? This is what stakeholder management talks about. I asked who is the dreaded person, the person that is most feared in this community. They told me one gentleman, and I went there and I said, good day, sir. I said, sir, we are seeking for your protection. Yes, I know it's God that protects, but stakeholder management says manage the risk before it shows up. I said, sir, would you mind giving us protection? And I said, yes, you know, I said, in fact, they've told me about you so well, so I need you to protect our site. He said, okay, how much? Then, this was 2009. He said, give us 5,000 a day. I said, no, for your level, God, no, that's too much for you. Let's make it 10,000. I'd already calculated that during the duration of that project, even if I pay him 10,000, it will be nowhere compared to what I was supposed to have paid if I don't. Guess what? As soon as the first truck came in, all the community men with their bike, everything came down to the site. I just went to hide somewhere. They came in and said, who's the owner of the site? They want to see who is here. I just hid myself and he came out. He said, bros, we'll find the owner. He said, I'm the owner. He said, no, we don't understand, bros. He said, I'm the one protecting. Oh, it's you? We didn't know, bro. He bought drinks for them. That was the last day I saw those people on site. If I wanted to tell them how when I graduated and the MSc and BSc and everything I have, those projects would have been stalled. So managing people, stakeholders is key. It will also help you make everybody on your team be on the same page because everybody will know the task. You see, one of the challenges we have in managing people is that we bring people on the project. We don't clearly outline their roles and responsibilities and their limitation. We don't tell them this is where your power stops, so everybody will have to show up themselves and drag for relevance, and in so doing, conflict comes in and the project is stalled because one person is refusing. So it's very important. And that thing you will learn through project management is that you'll be able to flag off risk in advance. When somebody complains and says, oh, they didn't pay me, oh, they didn't do that, it's a sign of poor project management skills. You know why? If you are a good project manager, in that project you do, you are supposed to anticipate risk. Now, if I'm doing projects with anyone, I put in an exit clause. So instead of me taking the project full blown, I break it into smaller milestones where I want to size up my sponsor, my client, whether he will pay as planned. So what I'm supposed to do at a bulk, I'll break it into 3 steps. Okay, let's do this first one first. After that, we'll review. If he doesn't pay me after that first one, I exit that project. But when I check the first time he paid, the second milestone he pays, third milestone he pays, I'm able to conserve and protect myself because I've used strategy. So even when you are doing projects, there's a way to execute your project, whether it's construction, it can be PhD, whatever, to protect yourself. Not that you go full blown and then there are challenges tomorrow, your client is not paying you, suppliers are giving you challenges. No, you can anticipate risk and plan in advance. What project management has taught me more than any other thing is what I call what if scenario. So if I'm doing something right now, I'll keep asking myself, what if it doesn't go wrong? What if? We need to have that mentality. It's not a negative mentality. It's a mentality to help you to create alternatives in advance so that if one does short, you already know the way. Why will you have only one supplier? Why will you have only one foreman? When I have one supplier, I have 10 standby in different locations. If I have one person, I have others. In the event that anybody drops down, I know the next line of action to take. So these are the benefits of project management. But project management didn't start just today. It's been there for a while. We have the International Project Management Association 1965. We have the Prince 2 that started in 1989. We have the Project Management Institute 1969. We have the Association of Project Management UK 1972, and the one I belong to, the Society of Project Management, that started in the early 2000s. So there are so many of them there, but let me tell you the secrets. It's not about how long an organization has been there. It is whether you have mentorship. And one of the things we do in our professional association is that when you come on board, our first priority is to find out where you are in the project management space and hold you by the hand and then begin to take you to the different levels. I'll give an instance. When I started training and my wife studied business administration, I had to compel her. I said, no, you're married to me and my success is your success. You need to learn what I've learned. You need to know what I know. So I had to compel her. She was working with me then. I had to take out of her salary, made her to go through the project practitioner, one of our courses, which some of you will have the privilege of going through within this week, and a bridge section. Do you know I compared her? She did that course. You won't believe that having done that training and gotten mentorship, all the project, my wife studied business administration, not architecture, not anything related to. Do you know I discovered? That's what project management helps. You can spot potential and harness it. Do you know I had to hand over most of my projects to my wife? Not because she was my wife, because she was skilled. She was delivering projects better than I do. Not with the knowledge of architecture, but project management. I could leave her, she would start a building and they'll bring key, completed. And the client will be saying, where did you get this, your team members? They are very sound. So it means that anybody can learn and grow in that practice. So that brings me to who can be a project manager. You know, many of us, we used to hear all kinds of things. Oh, project manager, this. In those days that used to be construction. Now, project management has virtually entered every field. Health, education, security. Why? They all have common problems. Every sector needs a task to be done. Every sector needs to achieve an objective within a time frame, within a reasonable cost. So project management is no more the prelude now of those in the business or in the built environment. It cuts across. So I want to give a word of encouragement today that anyone can be a project manager. That's one. Number two, as long as you can read and write, you can communicate, you can learn project management. But the most important thing is that if you are willing to learn and follow a plan, it's just a matter of time. So what I do for my students when they come in and say, okay, they want to learn project management, I sit them and say, where are you presently? What are you trying to achieve? I now draft up a 1 year, 2 year, 6 months plans, as the case may be. And 90% of them come back with better testimonies of where they are. And project management doesn't discriminate. You may not have gone to school. You may not have graduated. You may have done a course that may not even be relevant. Anybody can do it. It doesn't discriminate by age, by sex, by whatever. And it's never too late to learn project management. I'm an advocate for project management, and recently we flagged off our national project management sensitization campaign. And that's one of the reasons why we have come today. That's why I've volunteered myself to be here today, because I now see that the knowledge of project management can change any family, can change any business, can change any state, local government, any nation. It can dramatically transform. So that's why for me, I want to encourage you that you need to consider a practice in project management. What's a project? I don't want to use big definitions today. I want to make it as practical as possible. Anytime you have a need to do something that has a time frame and you need to use a particular resource to get it done, and you have to deliver it based on the expectation, I can call it a project. So I don't want to bore you with the definitions of project or project management. We'll do that in the other classes. But I want to say that if you have a goal that you want to achieve, it's a project. If you want to make a shift in your organization, you want to reinvent your organization, it can be a project. You want to solve a particular problem in society, take it as a project. You want to introduce innovation. We all were using 3310 Nokia or Sagem, Motorola, Ericsson. But these days, you don't need to take your laptop. Everything can be in the phone. That is innovation. But for those innovations to come, they saw it as a problem to solve. They looked at it as a project. That is why you see every year, many of these organizations are churning out new versions of phones. They are bringing out new models of cars. Why? They find out what is the problem. They bring it into a project. They get it delivered, and here it goes. There are many things we would not have thought of years ago, but now innovation has brought it. So maybe you want to solve a need. You want to create a product. You want to provide a service. You want to provide leadership. You want to raise advocacy. All of these. So there is nothing that cannot be carved into a project. What is the indices for something to be a project? It must be done within a time frame. You must have an idea of an estimated budget. You must have what exactly you want to achieve. You must be able to mobilize resources, team, and all that to get it done. So you can transform your life by seeing your day-to-day as a project. Life itself is a project because it has a start date and an end date, but many of you may not know. So when you begin to see everything you do as a project, this event you are having today is a project. You're coming for the event is also a project. So when you begin to see things in the light of project, you will be able to get great value from it. Now, who should consider project management and want to go into it? If you love managing things, you like putting things in order, you want things to work well, project management is for you. You want to make a difference. You don't like status quo. You don't like to remain on the backside. You want to be an innovator. You want to be the one showing others what to do. Project management is for you. You want to make a difference in the life of people. You need project management. You want to make a global impact. Like I set a standard for myself that in the next 10 years, I want to be among the top 10 most influential project management gurus globally. I'm set on that. I'm already on that journey already. In fact, I'm even achieving earlier than I set for myself. I'm achieving more results because there was a plan. You want to make the most of your life. You don't want to have age with gray hair and no impact. You need to understand project management. You are tired of going around the circle. You want to do things differently. You want to reinvent your career. You want to reinvent your business. Project management is for you. Now, project management is so vast. It's so vast that we will keep exploring it till tomorrow. There's project management in construction, in manufacturing, in finance, in insurance, in oil and gas, in information service, advertising, law, energy, NGOs, name them. The list is endless, but we have not been able to see success in project management, and I will tell you why. Number one, many people brand themselves as project managers, but we are not seeing the results. Why? Many people run after certifications. Look, certifications will never cease. That's why we have a course content that anywhere in the globe, those who have gone through that training say, sir, I'm talking about people in America, Europe, UK, Nigeria. And they said, look, I've done PMP, I've done this. I'm not criticizing any other qualification because they are all relevant. But I'm telling you that running after certification, thinking that will change your story or change your life is not it. It is you having an understanding of what to apply, how to apply, when to apply, with whom to apply that makes all the difference. So certifications is not going to solve your problem because you have one of these global certifications and you think no. It is knowing what to do. Another challenge most people have in project management is non-specialization. You cannot be a project manager everywhere. You can't be a project manager in health. As much as the skills are transferable, but it is better to stay in the sector where you have comparative advantage. You can be a media project manager if that is where your skill and specialty is. You can be a construction project manager. You can be a health project. Train yourself to be in the top of one or two areas, at least in project management. What that will do is that it will make you a subject matter expert. I've been in government delegations abroad. I was with the president's delegation 2015 to China. And we had governors there. We had Chinese investors, over 500 of them talking. Because this is my area of strength. When I sat with some of the governors and the ministers and began to analyze, and a gentleman came, had a very fantastic idea. I said, sir, can I give you advice? He said, no, you are very negative. I don't want you speaking that way. 5 years down the line, all the things I pointed out for him came to be. So right now, I'm highly sought after. Why? Because it's my area of strength. So try not to be a project manager in all the fields. Another big challenge most people have that are not doing well in project management is that they want to work alone. No, project management is a team thing. You will need experts. You will need consultants. You will need friends. Never carry your knowledge. I'll give an instance. I was doing a project somewhere also in the Niger Delta. The design was already completed, approved, ready to go to site. We had already gone to site, did site investigation, but there was an information that was lacking. An engineer called me and said, in this environment, it's close to the bank of River Niger. He said water can go as high as 3 to 6 meters when it's raining. So it means that if you do a bungalow, it will be swallowed up. If you do a duplex, it can be covered by water during rainy season. And he now asked me what kind of foundation. I said strip. He said it won't work. He said you need to use a raft foundation. He told me one or two things. Yes, I've already completed my drawings. I had to go back and make a change. Do you know in that environment today, one of the governors is from that locality. Is that building that I completed, that's still the only building that is not sinking. All other buildings are all going down after a particular season. Why? I got advice. So it's not a place. That's why we have a professional body, society of project management. And when we come together, we interact, we put our eyes together. Somebody's doing a project, we all rally around that person. Okay, what do we do? They say a stitch in time saves nine. That's what project management. You cannot run the practice on your own. That's why synergy is very key. Many of you are professionals. You need to get a project manager on your team. My senior president, as I call her, called me and said, Doctor, I need you on my team. Yes, I'm an architect, I'm doing very well, but I need a project manager to help me think things through. That is the right spirit. You can't do it alone. There's nothing like fast lane mentality in project management. You can't do it overnight. I've been in this for 15 years to 20 years. I'm still paying my dues. You cannot learn project management course today and expect to be a global person. You will need to go through the process. You need to develop. You need to allow yourself to be critiqued. You need to allow yourself to be guided. Some run into project management because of money. No, money is good, but money should not be your motivation. It's to create value. I have this insatiable passion for project management. I've been to events, bought my ticket to and fro to go and make impact, because I know that if I touch a life, see me today, I'm on this platform, I have many other things to fetch me big money, but I'm here today offering my precious time because I want to create value. So money will come, but start with creating value. And also, you cannot succeed as a project manager with an out-of-date learning. You did one course 4 years ago and you think you're still a project manager. No. Every month, every year, my budget for training is well over 1 million to 3 million. Every year, developing myself. That is why I will constantly be relevant. When you start seeing me on your networks, on your TV stations, on your DSTV, oh, Dr. Edwards, you will know that I didn't start overnight. It's a process. So what do you need to do if you want to succeed as a project manager? You need skills. And that's what the training does. Key skills is what you will need. Time management, communication, negotiation, risk assessment, all these skills are learned through courses and practical application. So you need to involve yourself. Try out what you will be taught. And for some of you who have not done a very detailed course, I will encourage you to come on board. We have a stand downstairs where they can tell you a few about some of the courses we offer. Try to enroll for some of those courses where you can learn some of this, because we take real life scenarios, analyze it, and show you what you would have done differently as a project manager. So project management is basically applying knowledge, skills, and certain tools to anything you have been asked to do so they can be learned. These are some of the skills, and many of these skills are transferable. It means that you will not only use them for projects, you can use them virtually in every area of your life. It still goes on. Risk-taking, decisiveness, they are all very handy. That's why project managers are very handy. Many organizations will employ project managers, even if that's not their field. Why? Because they have skills that are transferable. Now, what is the role of a project manager in any project? One is to, first of all, identify the scope of a project. That is where you need to work with all your key stakeholders, your sponsor, to find out what they want to do. When you are clear, your goal is to direct your team to achieve that goal. Then you see that while you're executing it, there will be challenges from different points. You manage all the stakeholders, the area boys, the suppliers, the vendors, the consultants, your team members, to ensure that they are all working in line with the objective of the project. You also need to track progress by ensuring that the time you are putting in, the funds you are putting in, translates to that's what they call end value measurement in project management, where you assess what you do compared to what you are expected to do. If you don't track your progress on a day-to-day basis, you will only find out that you have exhausted the funds and then you don't have enough time. There are procedures that can help you keep track Whether you are there or you are not there, you can still monitor. It's your role also to develop a project management plan if you have been asked to do that for that project that will guide the project execution. You motivate your team members to achieve the goal, you manage the budgets, and you make recommendations. This is just tidbits because of time that a project, but this is not all a project manager is supposed to do. You also improve your documentation, you manage the risk, you communicate to the key stakeholders, you inspect the deliverables of the project, you handle site meetings, you measure the key performance index. Because of time, I just want to run through some of these few things, but the best way for you is to register for the full-fledged course so that you will be able to learn more of this. So you can see the commitment of a project manager is a lot. It's a great responsibility, but it can be learned. Now, let me just say, put it in a very simple way, how project management can get value for you. Just ask 10 questions. The first question, when you are asked to do any project, you must target a result, what you want to achieve. And in project management, we call it scope. Scope is the professional word for what you want to achieve. If the clearer that goal is, don't say I want to buy a car. No, you mention the make of the car, the year of the car, the features of the car, what the car should have, the color, the engine size, whether it's factory fitted, full option, alloy wheels, tinted glass. The more information you have about a project you want to do, the easier it will be for you to be able to deliver that project. So clarity is key. The second thing is that ask yourself, what will it take? You are not asking what will it take, and when you are talking about that professionally, we call it cost. What will I need in terms of finances? The reason why you need to know is to know whether you are able to complete or whether your sponsor has the capacity to complete that project or not. Don't step into a project where there is no verifiable means of completing it, or else when it's abandoned, your name will be tied to the abandonment. So advise your client to scale the project to a level that it is. That's why they ask us to do project selection. It's one of the things we teach, how to select project options to deliver your objective. The next thing you ask is that, how long will it take? You don't estimate time by just saying, I think it's going to be 6 months. No, there are prescribed procedure in estimating a duration of a project. For instance, I did another project. After doing my evaluation, I said, you know what? I saw it was going to take me between 6 to 8 months, but I told them 2 years. I said, we can rush this project, you will not get value, but we can also do it systematically and you will get the best value. They said, you know what? Whatever you say, it goes. Even though I told them 24 months, I knew that if all things being equal, I can do it in 6 or 7 months. But what led to the 24 months? I was analyzing the possible risk. I was analyzing the fact that there may be challenges. I was analyzing that what if funds don't come in? So I factored all those. But guess what? I finished that project in 6 months. The budget was 65 million. I did it with 45 million. And they gave me 5 million extra as a gift for just delivering on time. Even though I knew, never communicate the exact time for a project to your sponsor. Take the variation of all the possible scenarios and ask that what type of result do I want? Results are in levels. That is why you have different goods characters. You say a particular thing, they'll tell you this is this amount. Phones are phones and phones are not phones. There are phones that can buy a brand new car. There are phones that can just give you a meal. It all depends on quality. So quality speaks. When you talk about Apple products, it has a stamp of excellence. To an extent, Samsung, even though we have all kinds, but you can never fake an Apple product. Apple is Apple, that's quality. So you should be able to ask, what quality do I want to get from this project? Who can assist me to achieve it? This is where you now begin to talk of the human resource, the people that you will need to bring on your team. You don't select team members because they are your neighbors, your friends, or your in-laws. You first of all identify the skill set that is required and then you marshal the people who have that competence level in terms of aptitude, skill, knowledge to that position. Not because they are your relation or your family member. We have destroyed our projects because we use sentiments in selecting our team. Another question is, how do I gain their support? You gain their support by communication. How do you mobilize people to ensure that they support this project, they are part of this project? It is through communication. I told you what I did in that project where I had to go and meet the man who was dreaded in that town. I communicated with him well and I got his buy-in. There are people, whether they are your friends or your enemies, stakeholders are those who can positively or negatively affect your project. Communication is how you bring them on board your project. Another question to ask is that what problems may arise? This is very key. Don't look at any project on face value. And you should also not assume that because it went well in the last project, it's going to be okay in this. You know why? Locations can change and they all have their different interests and influence. The team members you have can have the environment, many factors. So because one project was done this way is not a guarantee that it will work that way next time. What else do I need to get it done? Procurement. What are the things do I need to buy? Are there things you buy local? Are there things you need to import? Because there are some things that it takes weeks for them to come. There are some personnel you want to get into your project. You need to consult them 1 year in advance because they are very tight. They are professionals. These are the things you put in place when you are planning. Who can make it happen? That is the stakeholder. You are asking yourself, who are the people? There are people, listen, if you want anything, there are people who can make it happen. Finding those people in your projects will make all the difference for you. How do I coordinate all of these things? That is another question. Coordination, integration, implementation is another key area. So just to help you round up this I've just taught today, this is just to be like an appetizer for us. But I tell you, if you want to get this, we have online courses where you can attend. We have a stand downstairs, get our flyers, and get more information about how to contact me. I'll be willing to guide you through what will work for you. But the good thing is that in this training, these 5 days, we are also training. So if you've not registered, I want to encourage you to do that because we'll teach things that will blow your mind and make you realize that knowledge has power. How do you apply project management? You can use this project management knowledge to reinvent yourself. I've done that. I've done that over and over again. I keep creating new career paths. I keep creating new opportunities. Many of you have ability, but they are wasting away because you don't know how to harness what you have. When you have gotten sufficient project management knowledge, I do consulting where I pick people, tell me what you have done in the past, and I help you carve out what you should be doing. Identify your skill, identify your interest. We have courses on that just to help you identify yourself and know what area of project management, what type of project management to get involved in. So it will help you find out what you are good at doing and now put it on the table on how you can make. You can also use project management to evaluate opportunities. It's been one of the best things I've had. I can have 5 doors before me. How do I know the right one? There's what they call weight scoring method, where I do assessment, evaluate each of the opportunities, look the pros and the cons, look at what I can gain today and tomorrow, and at the end of the day, 90% most times, it will, you don't laugh when I say this. Do you know, even in choosing a wife, I had to deploy project management skills. I had these 3 ladies I was eyeing. I didn't know which of them. One of them, I knew her in school. The other one was just a fine, pretty lady I just saw well packaged. And the other one was just around. So I was asking myself, how do I know? Yes, I was a clergy, but you know, the Bible says faith without works is dead. You can't be faithing it and not take action. And I said, I used what we call weight scoring method in project management to analyze. And do you know what I now got as the final decision is that my wife I'm married to today. This is my 17th year in marriage. Project management did not go wrong. So you will be able to evaluate opportunities. You want to relocate, you want to go, even jobs. It's not all jobs you should take. Project management will help you analyze what will work best for you. Project management will help you engage in strategic planning. Everything is possible if there's a strategic plan and commitment to back it. You can be anything. You can achieve any goal if you have I said not planning, strategic planning. You want to be you want to go for government office, for political office, I can create a plan for you. You will not need to spend those monies they spend, yet you will still get to that destination. That's what strategic planning is all about. It will also help you work in milestones. Challenges most of us have is that we are trying to do too much. You need to break your goals into phases, into milestones. Take the first one, celebrate it, prepare, organize yourself, go for the next one. Don't do things in the long haul. Don't do things at a stretch. It will wear you down. Identifying what you want to do in milestones can be very critical for you. Execute your role in stages. That also is very good. You take step by step. It motivates you. It keeps everybody happy. Not that everybody around you is upset because you are running a project. It should not be. Many of you have contacts. You don't know what to do with them. You know this, you know that, you know them. We're in secondary school together. We're in school together. We're in the association together. What have they done for you? Project management will teach you. These contacts you have, there are people who want to help you, but you have not brought the right need before them. It's not to go to club. It's not to take small stout. It's not to drink or just, I'm having my birthday. No, there are bigger reasons for relationships. And project management will help you to identify what you want to do and then link up with the right people who can make it happen. It will help you identify loyal people and build a loyal team, which is needful. It will also help you market yourself. Today, I'm so grateful to the knowledge that God has given to me in project management, because places I could not have dreamt of coming into, project management has helped me to package myself. Companies, organizations, I tell them, you are paying me £5,000, £2,000, £1,000, and they will scream. But when I tell them the value I'm bringing to the table, okay, we will consider you, and then I deliver the job. It will also help you go for best practices. You will be able to aim for the best. As I round up, project management will also teach you how to identify alternatives. Whatever you want to do, it gives you the ways to go around it. And more importantly, you will be able to evaluate whether you are making progress or not. It will also help you prepare for challenges in the future so that nothing takes you unawares. I'm going to continue this class tomorrow. I'll be talking about the different career paths in project management and what you can do with the knowledge of project management. Several of them, I'm going to look at them one after the other. I will look at the job roles that project managers can be involved in. I will show you the salaries on why I say project management is a well-paying career. I will show you where the opportunities lie and the amount you can earn in foreign exchange or locally from being a project manager. We'll look at some other certifications you can run in project management, the methodologies you can use to run projects. We'll look at it. Then we'll guide you through on how we can help you to become a better project manager, the services I can provide and my team to help you to become good project managers and what to do. We have some courses. I will give you more information about them tomorrow. And there are several events across the world where we have had to do. We have some high-profile people on our team members, Dr. Obieze Kwesili, Sam Amadi. We have a Lieutenant General in the Army who's part of us. We have the President of Real Estate Development Association of Nigeria, Alhaji Aliyu Wamako, is one of our advisory board and fellows. We have a professor who was the Vice Chancellor of his school, the man leading Fiscal Responsibility Commission, a whole lot of high-profile people. One-time Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education, they are all on our team. So let me stop here for today, ladies and gentlemen. I know I don't want to take our time because we started late, but tomorrow, please be on ground on time. I'm sure they will communicate the time of the lecture to you tomorrow, and then we'll take it up from there. So thank you very much. I would like to get feedback for those who have questions. I hope I've been able to maximize my time. I would like to get feedback. What have you learned from today? That's what motivates me. Just to be sure I've not spoken out of point. Have you learned something today? And if you have questions, I would like to know. Thank you very much. Okay, are we there? Can I get questions? Can I get feedback, contributions? I would have loved to see everybody there, but somehow I can't see what's happening over there. But I want to believe I've added some value today. We had to rush this in because of the time of the day to allow many of you go and come prepared tomorrow. Okay, can we have questions? If you can, if either you send it to my WhatsApp or you could open the mic. Let me hear those who want to make contributions. Thank you, everyone. Any observe? Okay, can some persons make comments on what they've learned today? If there's no question, at least I can find out how well you've learned. Can I get feedback? If I can get like 4 or 5 persons to tell me what they've learned today, I'll be very delighted. Can I get feedback? What have we learned today in this short class that has been delivered? Is there a way for me to hear those out there? I would like to also have the pictures of those in class today. I hope we take attendance. It's very key for me. I'd like to know those who were around today so that when I'm building, I know those who have attended the class and I know what to build on. Okay, so can I get any feedback? Is there a way of the mics coming on so that I can get a question, or even if it's my phone being called, so that those who want to get make contributions? I want to hear what you've learned today, just to help me to be sure I've communicated. Yeah. Wow. Good. Hmm. Hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, can I get more persons? Tell me what you have learned today. That's what I want to find out. Mhm. Mhm. Thank you. Thank you. Any other person? Please let's not forget. Yes. Go ahead. Yes. Yeah. No, 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 not at all. We are supposed to have this training all through, so it's going to continue this week for those who register. But we have an office in Benin and we have a stand downstairs, Society of Project Management. So if you get there, pick up the flyers, and then we can now prescribe which of the courses to do. We have the beginner course, intermediate course, and those who are already professionals what they can do. So you can pick that up. But we have an office in the Kewan Road, along the Kewan Road, 10 Ago Street. It's a 3-story building, 10 Ago Street. We have Society of Project Management, but it's being coordinated by Continuous Improvement Associates. We have courses as low as 10, 30, 50, 100, 150. It all depends on how far you want to go. But we have a stand downstairs, so please endeavor to pick the flyer, Society of Project Management, and then we can talk. But we are supposed to have a plan to, for those of you who are interested in knowing more, is to meet, to register. We want to run a 5-day course within this event. So as many of you who will be interested, please meet architect to give you further guidance. But we're supposed to having day-to-day class. This is just the overview. There's a lot to teach. There's a lot I have to pour out, but we need to go through the proper channel. So please, before you leave, pick the flyer downstairs. We have a stand, Society of Project Management. You see a few of our trainings. Then for those of you who would like to be a member of our professional body, right now we're making so much impact. We are already training high-profile government agencies. We have just helped the Army to set up the first project management school. We are doing the same thing for INEC, training those in the Directorate of Planning so that they can deliver better election results. We are doing the same thing for Fiscal Responsibility Commission. In fact, many of the key real estate companies like Urban Shelter, Rural Homes, name them, they were already training their staffs and they have been bringing out fantastic results. So we are willing to even come to your environment, train you there, and help you to develop your capacity. We even have online trainings. So if you cannot physically be there, we have online versions to help you. But whatever we need to do to support you, because that's why I'm here today, to help my president, Architect Cecilia, to see how the built environment can be better. And I hope I've added value today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Any other thing?
Because of the fact that I couldn't go to the village as the plan was supposed to go there, it caused me more loss. Because number one, I will first of all try and get some persons that will serve my persons that will be on ground to give him cost analysis and all those many other things that I needed to have an idea about. And most of these things, they were kind of, the Nigerian system, they will add their own, add their own, add their own. It got to a point that it got so tiring from my dad. It's a project that I would have completed for at most 2 years. He used almost 20 years to complete it. So I want to say a very big thank you to you for this insight, because if I had known this earlier, maybe I would have advised him, because I would have told that line. I would have first of all built the house here so that at least we can answer that. Thank you very much.
No problem, my pleasure. My president, thank you also for the opportunity to share this small knowledge we have. We are still learning. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think any other person, if not, we can call it a day and continue tomorrow. If architect has sorted out that, will let us know, so that if we are continuing the class, so that we can run the other class. So I will encourage you to register for this training. It's one of our high profile trainings, and I tell you what you will learn, you can start applying it instantly. But don't forget, visit our stand downstairs, Society of Project Management. We have a team member there who will guide you and give you more information. So thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. God bless. Bye. Architect, am I permitted to take my leave? Okay. Thank you so much.